Ladies and gentlemen, I'm recording this video on September 30th, 2025, and whenever you are watching this video, I hope you're doing well. I hope the Earth is still spinning and your chess elo is still going up. Now, we've got some hot off-the-press chess drama as always. This one in particular is quite specific of an issue, so I will do my very best, like I do with complicated chess concepts, and I will explain it in a way to you that you understand, care about it, and understand why it's a pretty big deal. In a nutshell, chess has always had this rule where if you play a classical chess tournament or a Blitz chess tournament, and you and your opponent are separated by 400 rating points, meaning I am a stronger player significantly, there is a maximum amount of rating I gain by beating that person. 0.8 points. That's the way it's always been. Until a couple of years ago, when they said, if I play 5 of those players in a tournament, I get credit for beating them every single time. I get the 0.8 every single time. It used to be just once. It used to be just one time in a tournament you would get that. Okay? Well, now, in effective October 1st, effective tomorrow at the time of recording this video, this rule is being changed, but only for players above 2,650. A very specific rating. And this is effectively an anti-Hikaru rule. Why? Well, Hikaru is currently the most high-profile player playing against lower-rated players. He's going to the Iowa State Championship. He's going to the Louisiana State Championship here in the United States, and he's playing much weaker players. But he's not doing it to gain rating from them. That's just a side effect of a pre-existing rule from 2 years ago. Hikaru is playing those players to qualify for the Candidates Tournament. Remember, one of the spots of the Candidates Tournament, the tournament that crowns the challenger for the World Championship, is the rating spot, the person who has the highest average rating for several months. And you have to play a minimum number of games. So Hikaru is playing a minimum number of games against lower rated players because nowhere did it say you have to play a minimum average rating. That's what's going on. Now, folks, we're gonna get into the whole thing because FIDE went and retroactively changed the ratings of Daniel Naroditsky and Alexander Bortnik, two very strong grandmasters in Blitz, not in classical chess. We're gonna cover reactions from Hans Niemann, David Howell, other grandmasters, and I'm gonna show you a very specific example of why this situation is kind of crazy. So we're gonna kick things off as always with the CEO himself, the man Emil Sutovsky, who made a tweet. No more farming. If you are a 2650 player, do prove your skill versus opponents of comparable strength. Why 2650? It is a top 100 level, and these players rarely face low-rated opponents. While, for example, GMs with 2650 mostly play in large opens, and they should not suffer from new regulations. Additionally, we've prepared a questionnaire related to ratings, after what period a player should be considered inactive. Inactive. All right? How to approach rating decay and so on. This will be sent to top 100, top 50, and so on. Now, the International Chess Federation basically says, effective 1st of October, ensure the fairness and integrity of the rating system, provide a level playing field for people above 2650, and basically the 400-point rule. Okay, so what it says is, for each game played against the player, all right, a difference in rating of more than 400 points shall be counted for rating purposes as though it were a difference for players rated below 2650. For players rated 2650 and above, the difference between ratings shall be used in all cases. The accuracy of ratings and competitive fairness are paramount. Essentially, if I play somebody who's a well, no, because that would still be more than, because my rating fell. My rating right now is 2,322 or 24. If I played an 1,800 in a tournament and I beat them, I would get 0.8 rating points because I should get something for a win. And they're saying if you're above 2650, you shouldn't anymore. That should not be the case. And, Emil went on to respond to various people, and you're going to see that. We're going to read, I just scanned this article very briefly here. This was an article on the chess.com page, and this is their first change since 2024. Under the new rule, full rating gap will be applied for players above 2650, and basically, the expected score is now 99%, which is a gain of 0.1. And so, very best players, you gain nothing for beating a lower rated player, but highly punishing in the event of a loss. And, you can read this article a little bit. And so, Emil said it was triggered by Hikaru, but it was not explicitly by Hikaru, because of Hikaru. Now, look, David Howell said, short-sighted and flawed, rampant deflation isn't coming. 2650s rarely get big invites. This is a big problem because in the chess world, tournaments are invitation only. And David has played 32 games in the last decade despite being less active. Imagine pros who play 20 times more. That's a lot of games. Then they play fellow grandmasters who play others. It's a cycle. A hole in a bucket will eventually leak all of its water. And, David said this is going to open up a big gap between the top 10 and 20 who play mate each other in elite events and everybody else who has to play opens to make a living. There are just as many 2,720 players as 10 years ago, but there are now 20 fewer players between 2670 and 2720. That is because the people here, the people who are trying to make it into the top 15, top 20, they don't get opportunities. They don't get opportunities. Chess is not tennis. You don't show up to every single tournament, try to qualify into the tournament, try to get your calendar year points. Most of chess is an invitational. Most chess tournaments invite their participants. That's just the way it's always worked. That's the way it always works. So chess is kind of like a hodgepodge, like put together system, which in the modern day doesn't quite make as much sense, So David Howell had some opinions, and you can read the other opinions here. For example, David suggested that you simply apply this rule to the candidates tournament, like you can't get the rating for the candidates tournament. Hans Niemann said, you need a form of rating decay. Top players can maintain their ranking with very few games. I mean, Magnus and Hikaru don't play particularly all that often, but Hikaru made a good counterpoint to rating decay, which is chess players' calendars are stuffed with 1 million tournaments now. You have your freestyle tour. You have the Esports World Cup. You have, if you want to play in the Tuesday circuit, you got your Global Chess League. You have any project like Team USA versus Team India that wants to pop up. You have the Speed Chess Championship. I mean, there are so many ways to make money online now as a chess player in Rapid and Blitz events as well. Like, then players will just stop prioritizing, Hans has been pounding the drum for the open qualifiers for a very long time. This one I strongly agree with. Like I said, in tennis, I mean, you have the players that show up, they make it in through the qualification, and maybe they make a run to top 16, top 32 for the first time in a Grand Slam. They make a bunch of money, they break out in front of sponsors, etc. Chess just simply doesn't have this. This was Hans Niemann's point. Top 2 players who wield the most influence would not benefit from any change. I'm sure the chess mafia counterparts would do everything they could to maintain their narrative. Hans makes some good points, but then, the usual buzzwords get thrown around quite aggressively. But no, I mean, like if you could show up to a chess tournament as a 2,500, 2,600 and play it, it would be, it would be a really big deal. Now, folks, I'd like to draw attention to something once again. I remind you, most of you watching this have absolutely no, really, that is not an exaggeration. You do not remember or do not know the most important tournaments you should follow every single year. For most of you, a chess tournament starts because you see my recap, or you see a tweet, or you see a Hikaru video, or a live stream, and you go, oh, that started. I had no idea. That's kind of how I watch tennis, except the US Open because it's in America. I kind of know the US Open every single year. I go very frequently. But Wimbledon, Australian Open, sports that I don't really follow but know a little bit and watch every now and then, I'm like, oh, it's the French Open. I didn't know it's the second round. Oh, Alcaraz already got through. That's how most people watch chess as well. The problem is most people watch, like 90-something% of people watch chess like that. They don't know that the tournament is kicking off right away. The reason for that is because chess tournament organization is completely all over the place. The marketing efforts are completely all over the place. There's absolutely no clear system. And on top of that, some tournaments are invitation. Most tournaments are invitation. Some are rapid, some are blitz, some are online, some are, some are this and that. A lot of you recently watched the Grand Swiss tournament. It's very rare we can get like 95% of the world top 100 players in a giant open and just have them go at it with high stakes. That doesn't happen. Throughout the year, most players are playing like Abu Dhabi Masters or some tournament in Prague, which is an invitational, by the way. Or you're going to see like, Norway Chess or the Chennai Quantbox Grandmasters that happen, or Tata Steel, but you don't see even the same names because not the same people join these tournaments. They're all invited. And to make it to the invitation list, how do you do that? How do you gain all that rating? How do you get to 2760 FIDE if you are now not incentivized to play regular open tournaments? in your home country, for example. More on that later. Now, all of this made sense. All of this was fine. Made sense. Like, this is just step one of the whole thing. Now, folks, friendly reminder, Firouzja, when he was qualifying to the candidates in 2024, literally made it by rating the day before the tournament. He played in a tournament, he went 7-0, and he made it to the candidates the day before qualification ended. Ding Liren in 2022, when Sergei Karyakin was suspended from competitive play, Ding had to play like 30 games or something in a certain amount of days, and he did it. He literally just played tournaments in China against grandmasters, like random people who volunteered, and he made the candidates just purely on this rating qualification spot in the minimum number of games. Maybe it's time to get rid of it. Like, I don't know. If every year there's drama, 2019, Anish Giri, I think, withdrew from some Grand Prix or some, nobody watched chess back then, so it doesn't really matter. Now, all of this would have been okay. You know, October 1st, the rules, October 1st, fine. Except Alexander Bortnik then made a post. I'm just going to clear out a couple of the tabs here. Alexander Bortnik made a post. FIDE stole my rating. Yeah. Alexander Bortnik was 27. If you look at this website, 2793. The number 6th ranked player in the world in Blitz chess. And then out of nowhere, his rating on FIDE 2759. Why did this happen? This happened, and by the way, it was corroborated by none other than Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky. His rating also vanished. Why did this happen? Daniel Naroditsky, Alexander Bortnik, both live in Charlotte, North Carolina. What is in Charlotte, North Carolina? One of the fastest growing chess clubs, called the Charlotte Chess Center. Every month, they have a Rapid and Blitz tournament with some cash prizes and an opportunity to play some of the strongest local grandmasters. Bunch of kids play, it's 9 rounds. It just so happens Naroditsky and Bortnik are a lot better than everybody else. And even though that there are title players there, like Dina Belinkaya, I played a tournament there recently. Anna Kramling, Pia Kramling visited. They have 23 and 2400 rated players. They just can't beat these guys. These guys are just too strong. Bortnik is 2800 FIDE. So for like a year and a half, these guys just played in this tournament all the time because that's what they do. It's their local tournament. Like, what are you going to do? You live in a place, you are associated with the chess club. The chess club wants you to play the tournament, so the local club members and the kids are happy. So you come and play the tournament, and Bortnik wins it all the time. And Naroditsky either wins it or like loses to Bortnik or like draws Bortnik or whatever. Well, FIDE decided that retroactively about 9 months, those games just don't count anymore. And Emil responded. So I saw this, and I wasn't actually going to cover this because I didn't think this was much of a thing. But I was like, today FIDE made a rule change. Like, I didn't care that it's I don't care. I don't care. You guys, some of you are 12 years old and accuse me of making some drama content, and that's what I like. I was like, okay, whatever. They made this rule, fine. But then I was like, wait, they went back and took people's rating? Yeah, that's apparently what they did, but with a much longer explanation. Emil said, sorry, you have it wrong. We never applied the rules retroactively. What happened is as follows. Now, God, buckle up, okay? I read this 3 times and I have no idea what he's saying. There was a special provision in effect since it was actually November related to Rapid and Blitz. This was aimed at farming points, and at that time it was stated where opponents had 600 points of rating difference are not counted for FIDE Rapid and Blitz rating as long as one of the players has 2,600. A very, very, very specific thing. It was published in the handbook and it was publicly accessible. Very few paid attention as it was way before Hikaru's Tour de Force and applied to Rapid and Blitz only. Now, what happened is the algorithm was poorly adjusted and kept calculating ratings as if such a provision did not exist. And that is our fault. But this technical mistake is totally different from applying the rules retroactively. At the moment this was noticed, the system was adjusted, but I must insist, it's not about applying the rule. The rule was there, approved by FIDE Council, and included into the handbook. By the way, we did not take back from Bortnik a dozens other points he pocketed facing his fellow club players. So he's basically saying, you know, we could have taken more, but we chose not to. All in all, only 3 players lost significant amount of Rapid and Blitz due to calculated adjustments. Shirov. More on Shirov later. That's because each of them played over 100 games versus opposition 600 more points below. Again, he's making it seem like Naroditsky and Bortnik play at the Charlotte Chess Center every single month because they're up to no good. Because they're going to get some... But like that... I mean, they just play Blitz because they like it. Now, If they get no points for a win and lose like 10 points per loss, probably they will still play given their track record, but now they're definitely less incentivized. I mean, I feel like you don't have to remove all the rating, and it's not their fault. You don't have more grandmasters at this local chess club in freaking North Carolina. Let it be known, both of them are transplants. Okay, Charlotte could have had no GMs. Okay, great, fantastic. Just give them no grandmasters. You know, like I don't know what to. Yeah, I don't know. So this is all to say that they absolutely retroactively put something in place, although it seems like it was mostly a technical mistake, and they did publish the rating change, but they didn't tell anybody about it. Like, I don't know if they made a big post about it. They just added it to the handbook. Nobody checked. Nobody posted anything. They kept giving them rating. And then they were like, we actually changed the rules 9 months ago. We just did a really bad job telling you about it. I mean, all right, sounds like it's your fault. Now, Naroditsky and Bortnik made it through to top 10 in the World Blitz Championship in New York. I mean, in the last round, Naroditsky was playing tied for first. And then Bortnik, I think he was either half a point out of the knockout or something. Like, these guys are really, really good players. It's really no fault of their own that they're playing in a tournament where nobody's as good as them. Now, I would like to draw your attention to something. At some point, Emil Sutovsky said that this rule is not just a Hikaru rule, but there are 5 other people who abuse this rule. Abused is a strong word. I think I know who these people are. It's not a secret. It's just not something that, unless you follow the chess world very closely, like you wouldn't be like, oh, well, now So look, FIDE brought back 0.8. And what that basically meant is if I'm a 2600 grandmaster, I can go travel the entire world. I can beat up cats, dogs, penguins, and 5-year-olds who are rated 500, and I will get rating for it every single game. But that's not really what it was, how it was applied. So I would like to draw your attention to one such case, who is Awonder Liang. Awonder Liang is a former prodigy. Now he is, old. He's 22. Awonder Liang is rated 2710. And he has always been very good. And he actually went to college. Why did he ultimately go to college in America? I think he went to University of Chicago, and now he's going to go to Webster to get a master's and also train chess. Because chess professionally is not a viable career for most people. Because the ecosystem is idiotic. Like I said, if you don't make it into the top 15 of chess to get the invites to the invitationals, I have no idea how you make money before 2020. Now with the chess explosion, people can make content, they can make courses, they can have private lessons. You got hedge funds inviting people, and chess is blowing up in different parts of the world. Like it's blowing up right now in France, in Turkey, like in different places. So maybe you get more opportunities. In India, you guys are set. Private corporations, public grants to the top, to the top players. Divya Deshmukh just got a $350,000 investment / scholarship / award for becoming the Women's World Cup champ. This stuff doesn't exist anywhere else. So Awonder went to University of Chicago, because why the not, So what did he do while he was staying in America and grinding some? Awonder went to play in tournaments. Why? Because he can, and they're local. We have local tournaments in America, but those tournaments don't have that many excellent players. So look, he was winning a lot of those tournaments. And the thing is, he wasn't just winning low-rated tournaments. He won, in 1 month, he gained 17 points. Okay, look at this. He played the World Open. He scored 8 points. He won a tournament where he played a strong grandmaster, a strong grandmaster, a strong grandmaster, and a grandmaster. He's not, as strong as the others. So Awonder went 8 out of 9. He lost 1 game to a strong IM, Sam Schmackel. He's like my age. He lost 8 rating. I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna move myself somewhere in the middle. I'm gonna be in the middle. Look. 8 rating points. He lost to a 2442 as a 2600 FIDE rated player. He was 2648. He lost 8 rating. By getting the points against the other players, 0.8, he gained back some of the rating, and he won the tournament. And he went 4-0 at the end against 4 GMs. What more do you want from the guy? Here's another tournament he played. US Junior Open Championship, okay? Under 21 section. Okay, he played people. He was lower rated than them. He beat everybody. What do you want the guy to do? He won the US Junior Open. And I think this qualified him for, I don't know, maybe he was just gaining experience. Then he played in the Chicago Class Masters, okay? He beat three more people. He played 4 tournaments in like 25 days. He's just getting reps. Is he farming his elo? God bless him. Look. He drew 1 player and lost everything. Literally, he lost rating in this tournament over 3 days because he drew 1 player and beat everybody else. He beat a 2345 rated player. This kid is really good, Eric Zhao. I worked with him before at a World Cadet. 1 rating point. You beat a 2345 rated teenager, you get 1.4 elo. I mean, what? You draw somebody. So, yeah, he did this a couple of times. He played the Washington International, very strong tournament. All right, he beat 3 players. Bro, he beat a grandmaster. Safal Bora became a grandmaster. He beat a prodigy, Liam Putnam. This kid is really good. He gains 1.9. And now you take away these 0.8. So now he's playing these tournaments. He's beating these master level players. He's just, okay, he gets none of this anymore. And by the way, guess what? A Wonder made it to the United States Championship. Look at the ratings. Bro, he had a decent tournament. He gained 10 FIDE. It's not like he's a bum who can't play chess. A Wonder Leon goes to the US Championship and gains 10 FIDE. Then he gains a little bit more rating, okay? He played some random tournaments. He gains some more rating. He stays sharp. He plays in Charlotte. He goes to Grenke Open, okay? He draws 1 guy rated 2400. Now he loses all his rating for the tournament. And then, guess what? Guess where A Wonder just played? A Wonder just played in the Grand Swiss, y'all. A Wonder Liang just went to the Grand Swiss, the tournament of tournaments. He gained 9 rating. This dude is really good. He played in the Chennai Grandmasters. He's really good. He's not just farming rating to have a completely illegitimate FIDE rating. He's just playing local tournaments. It's easier. Do you know how much freaking money he would have to spend out of pocket as a college student? God knows how many student loans he has in University of Chicago. He's traveling around the world playing tournament. No, he's just going to play local. And then when he actually plays in elite events, he gains rating anyway. But they're not retroactively taking his rating. They only take the Blitz rating. I mean, I know they said they changed that and whatever, but like, and there was another case, which is, I think Christensen, who's a Norwegian GM, like, okay, these guys are like playing in some tournaments and maybe that's how they make their living. Like, I don't know, maybe they're just winning $500,000 because they're not getting the invitations. Making money as a professional chess player is ridiculous. It's really, really hard if you're 2650. Now A Wonder played in the Grand Swiss. He had a really good result. He's going to maybe get some more invitations. There's no crazier case than Alexis Shirov. Shirov, former world number 2, is bleeding rating playing in open tournaments. Bleeding rating. Bleeding it. He plays in open tournaments. Maybe he does it for fun. Maybe he gets paid to participate. Like maybe they pay him to show up. The one time Alexis Shirov played an elite tournament, which was the Grand Swiss, the dude gained 20 rating points. It's a 50-year-old legend of the game who just went undefeated with 2 wins out of 11 rounds. He beat Jonas Bier, who's 2650, and Pavel Elyanov, 2680. 20 rating points he picked up. And he's actually in trouble with the Blitz thing. They're reducing the Blitz. And these are some of the players. There are basically 5 players who were impacted by this. There was Hikaru, who was getting the rating from playing the lower-rated players. There was A Wonder. There might have been Christensen, Naroditsky, Bortnik, Shirov, and that seems like that's it. Chess World is conflicted, and this doesn't particularly bode well for the Grandmaster that's 2670 FIDE, because if you're 2670, what do you do? As we can see, elo in chess is all over the place. A 2400 can play a 2650 on equal grounds in many cases. Will they lose more of the games? Absolutely. But now we are getting to the point, but if you're 2670, 2680, how do you make a career out of this? You're not going to get as many invites. You got to fight for 5 or 6 invites every year to like a B group. One bad tournament, you lose 20 to 30 points. Maybe you won't get an invitation next year. Where do you try to play? You try to play in a Grand Swiss. You can have a miracle performance like Bluebaum, but he's 30 years old. What do you do in your 20s? Now, do you go to Abu Dhabi? Okay, you go to Abu Dhabi, fine. As we see, you beat 2400s, you get 1 rating point. You lose to a 2400, you lose 7. You lose 7 rating points. That's crazy. You got to beat these people 3 to 4 times more to get around the same rating. And now, if you play lower rated players in those tournaments, you would be getting some points for that, but now you get nothing. So you don't get any rating for that. I don't know. Like, look, I'm not gonna lie. I don't get it. I don't know what the easiest solution is. You know, do I think that like 2,800 level players should be able to just go and farm tournaments to become #1 rated player in the world? Probably not. Maybe this is something you apply to only 2,720 plus or 2,700 plus. But the middle tier super grandmaster who is rated 2,710 or 2,660, how do you make a career in shit? Like, how do you try to become a professional athlete? I mean, in tennis, these players are grinding and playing all the time until they have a breakthrough. A lot of them are not making a lot of money. Is that just how it's supposed to be? I don't know. Whole thing's a little bit of a mess. And I complain about the chess world a lot as a spectator because I want to see the best play the best a lot. And we don't have that. We don't have any format where the best play the best all the time. And it matters. And there are stakes. So I don't know. This is, you know, a little update for you on the rating system. A little bit of, you know, feedback from everybody. And for the record, I'm not like anti-FIDE in this video. I'm just like, I don't think you should go back and take people's rating if they were playing within the rules. If you made a mistake in calculating it. By the way, Bortnik then responded, side note, I should have included this, that like Bortnik said that one of his results was marked wrong in a tournament from like a decade ago, and FIDE still hasn't given him the rating for it, which whole thing is just a mess. Yeah, I don't know. They do things and I'm like, I don't think this is solving the proper problem in the chess world. But it is what it is, and that's your update of drama for the week, for the month, and that's all I have for you today. Get out of here.